Hey there, I am Anthony from DESelect. In today's interview, I'll be talking with Kaelan Moss, also known as the Minute Admin. Kaelan recently became a Salesforce Marketing Cloud certified instructor, and he has created a very thorough learning platform for Sfmc professionals. Now, we will be talking about how you can quickly gain expertise in Sfmc for yourself, how to leverage this in the current job market, and we will also be discussing different modules of the platform. So sit back and enjoy. Hi, Kaelan. Welcome to the series.
Hey there, Anthony. Thanks for having me.
Well, my pleasure, really. We're glad to have you here. Could you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Yep. So my name is Kaelan Moss, also known as Minute Admin for people who following my YouTube channel. I am a marketing cloud, basically email specialist, consultant, administrator, anything you want to throw in there, everything kind of besides that developer role. I'm also a marketing cloud instructor. So about a month ago, I was actually certified as a Salesforce Marketing Cloud instructor. So
congratulations.
Yeah, that was a very, very thorough process, and definitely glad to have that under my belt now. So that's probably my most proud achievement right now in the Marketing Cloud space, is being certified by Salesforce, having that stamp of approval to be able to teach their courses. So yeah.
That's great. And I've seen the courses. I'm a big fan. So we'll make sure to put the link in the comments of the video. I'm curious though, the name Minute Admin, where did that came from?
Yeah, that was actually, something that really just came to me out of the blue. I was in San Antonio at the time, and I was thinking about how difficult it was for people to really grasp Salesforce. And really, I've always been someone who enjoys videos over reading, even though I do both. But I started thinking about how I could make videos that would teach somebody a subject in a minute or less. And so I was like, I'm going to teach people how to be an admin, Marketing Cloud admin, Salesforce admin, any sort of admin in a minute or less. And that's where that idea sparked from, is showing them what they needed to know without spending years teaching them a subject.
All right. Yeah, I love it. It's a catchy name too. So, good pick. When did you start on your own SFMC journey?
I started in 2017. So September of 2017, September or October of 2017. And it really started as, just kind of, there was a need. I was kind of an accidental Marketing Cloud admin. So, you hear those stories about accidental admins in Salesforce, but that was me for Marketing Cloud. So yeah, it really started in October of 2017.
Wow, I must say it's pretty impressive then that you're already an instructor. It sounds like you've done pretty good at doing this fast track. So if anyone can teach people how to be an admin in under a minute, I think you're the guy. So, Kaelan, are you working on any courses that we should be excited about?
Yes, I'm glad you asked. I am working on actually putting together 3 courses into one bundle right now. So it'll be like a full Marketing Cloud course, which will help people get certified as email specialists and Marketing Cloud administrators. So, there's a lot of overlap between the two. And I decided to just go ahead and put a course together and really just, design a course that shows people the Marketing Cloud system, since a lot of people don't have access to it, showing how to do things through video, and also through documentation that I've created, to show people, what a data extension versus a list is, what a data filter versus SQL query activity is, Automation Studio versus Journey Builder, and when you would use one or the other, as well as study guides. So there's not many study guides out there for people. And so I've started creating email specialist study guides and Marketing Cloud administrator study guides as well. So people have not only the types of questions they're going to see on the exam, but they'll also have every single definition they'll need to know for each section of the exam.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, that way people aren't confused when they see certain jargon or lingo when they go and take the exam. They're not confused as to what what contact builder is or something like that if they've never been exposed to it. And we can talk about attributes in the study guide before they go and see that on the exam. That way, I've shown them that definition. I've told them what it is, and I've also given links to official documentation to go learn more about that. And then, for each section, I've done that for each section of each exam. And then also just, given exam questions on top of that. So that's the second piece. And then I've also created 35 to 40 Marketing Cloud interview questions with, exactly the types of questions I've been asked, what other people have been asked. And
So sorry to interrupt you. These are interview questions for job interviews.
yeah, for job interviews.
Okay.
So it's, I wanted to, obviously teach people Marketing Cloud, but, not just stop there. I wanted to also help people get prepared for a real world Marketing Cloud job interview. So one thing I've seen on LinkedIn a lot, in my direct message inbox, as well as email messages I've been receiving, is a lot of people want those interview questions once they understand Marketing Cloud. So I've gone ahead and just created about 40 interview questions, and people can have access to that once they sign up for that course. So hopefully it provides a lot of value to people, and they not only learn Marketing Cloud, but they learn the types of questions that'll show up in an interview.
I'm sure. And I love also like the interview questions because you give it real world practical application. Also like the dictionary. I remember, gosh, when I had to study for these exams, there's just so much jargon. It's good to know that you're doing this because several people on my team are getting certified. So, I'll point them in the right direction. In general, who do you think could benefit the most from your courses? Who are the courses for?
Really, it's for obviously anybody starting out in the Salesforce ecosystem. What I really want people to understand is when you come into the Salesforce ecosystem, you don't just have to go and be a Salesforce administrator or a Salesforce developer. Now that's the biggest media hype, I guess you could say, whenever someone comes into the Salesforce ecosystem. But I really want to show people you can start off in Marketing Cloud. So this course is really for beginners, as well as people who may have already started as a Salesforce administrator and they've been working as a Salesforce admin, but they want to get another certification. They want to go get, learn that Marketing Cloud platform and really get Marketing Cloud certified. So really anybody who's not Marketing Cloud email specialist certified or administrator certified, definitely that's who the course was designed for. Also, the course is designed for people to, prepare for a job interview as well, which is why I'm throwing in those job interview questions. So it can be a refresher for somebody who does have experience with Marketing Cloud, and have a place to, refer back to as kind of like a one-stop shop to really just basically learn everything when it comes to Marketing Cloud and refresh on their skills when it comes to Marketing Cloud.
Yeah, staying with the topic of the interview questions for just a little bit longer, is this something that people asked you about?
Yes, I've been getting a lot of requests. I've been getting, I would say, just within the past 2 weeks, I've probably got 10 people asking me for real world interview questions.
Right.
So I was like, there was a point where I was, just calling them on the phone or sending them one-on-one, like just typing it up and saying, here's what I've been asked. And I was like, well, if this is a need, what are the people who aren't asking me these questions struggling with? And they may be struggling with the same things. These are just people who've reached out and maybe found me or, were courageous enough to reach out to me and ask me those questions. So I just went ahead and filled a need that I've been seeing is there, and hopefully that helps a lot of people.
Great. I think it justifies to a good entrepreneurial instinct. And so you mentioned though the specialist certificate. You mentioned the admin certificate. Will there be a dev certificate at some point, you think?
I hope to work with a developer to create that course. So I have been as I've been creating the courses, the admin and the email specialist cert courses. I've also been thinking about how I'm going to create the consultant certification course, which will come up next after this. But you know, my biggest thing is I'm not a developer. I'm not someone who knows server-side JavaScript and gets really heavy into the development tools like API. But I would love to co-create a course with a developer or with a team of developers and just really utilize the knowledge that we both have, or maybe myself and a team has, and come together and create a course like that. So that's definitely on the horizon, but I will need some help with that.
Well, we'll do a little shout out right now. So if there's any good SFMC developers listening to this, you know who to go to. I think there's a great opportunity to co-create something that could be really useful to the community.
Yeah.
Now, going back to your own learning experience, you know, you've come a far way. Obviously, you're, you know, justifiably an expert. But how long did it take, let's say, until you felt proficient with Marketing Cloud?
I would say it wasn't really until I started teaching it to other people. And that was just, you know, that's not even the Marketing Cloud instructor certification. I was really teaching this to people just out of pure passion and just helping people. And I would say that probably took me about, honestly, a year and a half, maybe 2 years after I was using it every single day, because it's such a big platform. It's such a big system. There's so much to do. And at my first job, I was actually using the entire suite of Marketing Cloud. So there was so much coming at me from all angles, whether it was Email Studio, Mobile Studio, Interaction Studio, you know, and Automation Studio, Journey Builder. And I was kind of like, you know, what do they say? A fire hydrant, drinking from a fire hydrant. And so it was pretty tough at first. So it took me a while to really understand what I was learning, and understanding how to put all of that together is probably what took me the longest. But and to the point where I would say I felt comfortable with it is whenever I started teaching that to people, which was, I would say, about a year and a half to 2 years after using it. But that was, you know, like I said, that was because I was using the full breadth of the system, like from day one. And it was just like, where do I go from here? I didn't have any guidance. There wasn't Trailhead whenever I first started. Well, there was Trailhead, but not for Marketing Cloud.
Right.
And yeah, and everything was just pure help documentation. So that was my dilemma, which is also why I created the courses that I've created, so I could put it all into one place and not, you know, prevent someone else from having 70 tabs open like I would normally have when I was learning.
Right. Well, what you just said is so relatable, especially the part about you become proficient the moment you teach. I think there for Marketing Cloud admins is probably a good role in teaching their company about the product, and it'll make them better admins. So your courses, they're very interesting, but what distinguishes Minute Admin courses from the others?
So my courses really are, my courses, like, you know, like I said, I focus on making sure you understand the concept, you understand what you need to know. I'm one of those people that's like, you know, I watch a YouTube video and I'm like, let's cut straight to the chase here. You know, I don't want to see 5 minutes of you talking about why you created the video, you know, really quick intro, and then go straight into it. And that's where
Right. Like when you Google for a new YouTube video, and then you always have to just skip the first 5 minutes because they're talking about themselves.
Exactly. And that's where I feel like I differentiate, is I get straight to the point. You know, my courses are designed to just get straight to it. Here's what I'm going to cover. Let's cover it. If you have questions, here's documentation about it. Also join the Facebook group. What I'm trying to do is build a community around people who are trying to learn Marketing Cloud. So, you know, it's really, there's a lot of communities out there. But what I've seen is that there's not like a one-stop shop community where people can go that are specifically learning what it takes to pass these exams and to get a job. And my course is that, that environment, that community that people can join to really say, hey, I'm a part of this community. This is exactly where I need to go. This is the one place I need to be at. I don't need to have 100 tabs open. I can be here, learn every single thing I need to know, step by step to pass the certification without having to do 100 Google searches for a data extension or versus a list. It's all there for people who are learning. So yeah, it's all put together.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna jump ahead to one question I wanted to ask later, but 2020 has been a pretty interesting year for the world so far. I'm kind of curious. Have you seen a change in the way that your visitors on your website consume your courses given the pandemic? Has it changed?
It definitely has. It's really crazy because I didn't really start doing this super heavy until the pandemic, like right up until I would say about a month or two before the pandemic. I started getting serious about teaching Marketing Cloud. So I don't have too many metrics to go off of compared to pre-COVID, but I will say that people are a lot more interested in learning, learning skills that they can use online. I
Oh yeah,
will
for
say
sure.
that. Yeah, there's been an increase in demand for not only learning online, but also for trainers. Like before the pandemic, I would tell people, hey, I want to train Marketing Cloud. I want to teach Marketing Cloud. That's all I want to do. Like I can do an implementation, that'd be cool, but I want to teach this to people to give them back what I already know. And there was really not much interest for that up until the pandemic, really, because then there was this influx of people who are like, hey, I want to learn this. And now all of
Right.
a sudden there needs to be a trainer to come over here and teach these people. And that's the biggest shift that I've seen is beforehand, learning and development, it wasn't that big of a deal in terms of Marketing Cloud or Salesforce, but now I'm seeing there's a big uptick in the learning and development space.
Oh, absolutely. I think you hit the timing just right on this. I also remember at the start of the pandemic, even Salesforce themselves started to create more awareness about Trailhead and so on. And then suddenly I saw a stream of people having their certificates on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Yeah, kudos. Well done.
Thank you.
Maybe a bit more general, just beyond Marketing Cloud even. What do you think for marketers are the biggest challenges today, given the situation?
I would say really for marketers, it's relating to people, not creating or let's say focusing on creating campaigns that matter to people and not coming off like you're trying to just sell to people. The biggest thing that I've seen for marketers in general is there's a push for, hey, we have email marketing for a reason. We have products. We want to sell these products to our customers. But really, the biggest thing I would say is focus on helping the customer and making sure that you're providing value, to your customer base, to your subscriber base. I would say, especially with the pandemic, people are looking for ways to improve their life. And I would say if you can give them a way to do that with your product, I would say you're going to set yourself up for a lot of success because if you can help somebody get further in life, increase their value, increase their status, especially in this day and age, I mean, people's lives have been, changed completely. Some not so much, some drastically. And if you can come in and provide any sort of, positive help to that change, I think that's the biggest thing marketers can do now.
Sounds great. And how has your life changed, by the way?
It's funny, it didn't really change that much, other than the fact that I can't just travel anywhere I want to without,
Right.
like, working in the Salesforce ecosystem it's amazing. Like, you can work remotely. You can, I'm sitting here in my room. I'm sure you're sitting somewhere either at home or at the office, but you don't have to go into the office, and it's not a requirement. So I would say, that's the biggest thing about Salesforce that I really was attracted to when I first started, but it hasn't changed much other than the fact that I'm not traveling as much with that freedom to work anywhere I want to.
Yeah, pretty much the same here. We have been lucky enough to be allowed to go back to the office, where I'm based in Europe. But of course, yeah, less travel. But fortunately enough, like you said, in the Salesforce ecosystem, remote work is definitely possible. And I think, being able to work with marketers, marketing automation specialists, and just more technical profiles, it seems that it's very ingrained into the culture in business.
Yeah, it is. It really is not. And that's the biggest attraction for me is I want freedom of, freedom to basically work wherever I want. As long as you get the job done, that's what really matters.
Yeah. Freedom of space, in a
Yeah,
sense. Right.
exactly.
Hey, I'd like to go back here to something you mentioned earlier in the interview that I thought was very interesting. I think you said that your first project, you were exposed to all modules.
Yes, I was. So I worked at a company based in Oklahoma City, and we had the full suite of Marketing Cloud. So I was using everything like mobile push, like I would test all the messages that we were sending to our app. I would set up the SMS campaigns. I would set up the email campaigns, make sure that the data was, set up correctly, do SQL, dabbled into some AMP script, some HTML. Literally, like when I say that the reason it took me so long to learn Marketing Cloud is because I had to learn so many different,
You
things.
did it
And
all.
yeah, did everything. And so, and I would go to conferences like Connections in Chicago, learn about Interaction Studio or MuleSoft, and come back and start working on that. So it was like we were using everything that we could possibly use to get the most out of the system.
So I got to ask, which module did you like the most? And of course, which one did you like the least?
Yeah, I would say honestly, I like Automation Studio the most. It's not the prettiest tool. It's not like Journey Builder, but I like Automation Studio the most. It's to me, I'm someone who thinks in terms of, you know, creating the right processes. Like this board right here, these boards
Right.
are literally just the processes of how I do things jotted down on the board. And I'm, trying to recreate the process to make it as efficient as possible. And
Hmm.
I think when you do that and you put that into an automation tool like Automation Studio, your life is just so much easier. Like you can segment your data, you can basically you can import your data, segment it, export your data, transfer, all of that without having to do it every single day. Just making sure that the process is correct. And I like that. I like the fact that I don't have to do tons of data work every single day once it's set up. So
Yeah,
um,
I can relate.
yeah.
um, but that leaves us. Which module do you like the least, and why?
So which one do I like the least? I honestly, I couldn't say what I like the least. I'm just trying to think of.
If not a module, a feature is fine.
Oh, I'll tell you one thing I do not like is whenever you create a data extension, you can't change the order of the fields. That to me is like the most like that to me, I don't know why that hasn't happened yet, but that ever since I, first started in Marketing Cloud in 2017, I've messed up. Like I've created a data extension. Like I created a data extension with like 50 fields in it one time, and
Mm-hmm.
I messed up on the order of one, maybe like field 36 and 37. And I was like, can I go back and change this? And I was like, oh gosh, yeah. So
Yeah.
couldn't go back and change that order. That's what I would say I like that I dislike the most, but hopefully there's an update to that soon.
Or like you create a DE and then you realize field number 7 out of whatever has the wrong field format, and
Yep.
you just don't care anymore. You're like, okay, this is from now on, this number field's going to be a text field. It's going to be, that's
Yeah.
just going the way it's going to be from now on.
Yes, yes. Yeah, yeah, that's definitely the most disliked feature. But I can't say I dislike any module or anything like that, or Studio or
Hmm.
Builder, but definitely that feature right there.
Now, for your favorite module automation studio, I've had the feedback a couple of times that it's still pretty technical. To what extent do you think that marketers today should become technical?
I do think that, marketers should have some technical abilities in Marketing Cloud. Whenever we're talking about technicalities, obviously we're talking about the whole system being a technical system. So you have to understand, obviously, the basics of Marketing Cloud, and really just understand how to, operate Marketing Cloud. But what I tell people all the time is, if you know pretty much where to click buttons in Marketing Cloud, you can get 90% of the job done. Like, it's like going to Facebook. If you can go to Facebook and you know which group you need to go to, if you know the step-by-step process to creating a page or a group in Facebook, you can utilize Facebook. If you know how to add friends, it's the same thing, if you just know where to go. So that's what I tell people when they're learning Marketing Cloud is just know where to go, know where things are at. And once you get there, know what you're actually doing when you press that button, which is why, Salesforce is so great, because they're all about clicks, not code. And so that leads me into saying, as far as technical abilities, I would say I do encourage people to learn some SQL, as well as AMP script. And I don't really go much further than that. If they want to learn HTML, server-side JavaScript, you can learn that. But there's so many different ways to get around
Oh,
needing
yeah.
to know SQL and things like that. So, which is what you guys offer, the DESelect. So, that's why I'm not super big on telling people you have to learn SQL anymore, because there's solutions like yours, which are so great,
Thank you.
that allow people to continue to just know where to click, and still get the job done.
Oh yeah, and well, thank you for bringing it up. The Salesforce ecosystem is very open. That's I think one reason why a lot of customers like it, partners like it, and obviously we like it. Now you've had a try at DESelect as a segmentation solution, so I'm kind of curious. What was your experience working with it?
I loved it, especially when I found out that you could create a resulting data extension in DESelect. When I first used it, I was like, okay, I've got to create this filter, create what I need to create. And then I realized I hadn't created a resulting data extension. And I was like, okay, I'm going to have to either save this or delete all my progress, exit out of DESelect, go back, create my resulting data extension. And it was like, what do you want your resulting data extension to be named? And I was like, okay, yeah, this is legit. And
Thanks.
because you can do everything that you need to do in with SQL, with DESelect. And I was like, if I had access to this when I first started off in Marketing Cloud, the amount of time I would have saved would have been like mind-boggling. People would have been like, how are you getting all this done that fast? That would have increased productivity. Also probably got me, some more recognition or something like that at my company. Because, if you're getting the job done extremely fast, then people are going to recognize that. B, it would have just allowed me to also save time on having to learn SQL, B, refer back to SQL code, and would have just allowed me to do the same exact thing without having to learn that entire language to do it. It's like I tell people all the time, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, if you get the job done, it doesn't matter how you get it done. As long as it's obviously legal, which everything we're doing is,
Right.
legal
we'll
and
assume,
ethical.
yes.
Yeah. As long as you're getting the job done, it doesn't matter how you get it done. And I think that's the biggest thing people, especially through this pandemic, are going to realize, is that normal isn't always the best. You can adapt, you can overcome certain societal, societal norms. And that's just like a, philosophical way of thinking about it. But that's, also with your product, DESelect, is that you don't have to learn a new language to get the job done. Like, for example, I don't know if you've got the new update on the iPhone, but there's an app here on the iPhone, if I could pull it up, but it's like it's a translate app. You don't have to learn a new language to speak to people nowadays. You can just translate it on your iPhone.
Oh yeah.
And technology has come so far, and it allows us to still do the same thing, get the job done without having to spend a ton of time learning how to do it. It's just here now. And that's what you guys offer. It's something that's here, easy to, easy learning curve, pick it up really quick, start working on it day one, still get the same job done, so.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. And I do like the philosophical note that you left here. I guess obviously this whole COVID-19 pandemic has been pretty horrible for the world and everyone in it. But if there's anything good, that it's maybe that now we can think of more unconventional ways of getting things done, be it remote working, be it the way we learn and teach, and maybe even do our own operations.
Yep.
To sum that up, actually, not just DESelect, but any apps on the App Exchange in general, do you think that people should have a look there, that they should also learn about and educate themselves about what apps are available there?
I think they should. I think that should come, after they have an understanding of the platform and where they're going to need to use it. But for somebody starting out, learn the platform. But once you learn the platform, definitely get an understanding of what is out there to help you make your life easier. Because at the end of the day, if you make your job easier, you're making your life easier. I always look at it like this. I want to be the type of marketing cloud consultant that creates a solution that allows people to still get paid, possibly even get paid more than they would normally get paid, but by doing less work, because your productivity is increased tenfold, 100-fold. So if you're still outputting either the same or more, output in less time, you still deserve to get paid the same or more. That's what I'm saying about the whole societal norm thing is, I think we're so used to trading our time for money. Yeah.
Right.
And I think it should be the other way around. I think you should be getting paid for what you produce. And I think that, it's important to know the tools that are out there that allow you to produce more. So if you can figure out the tools on the App Exchange that allow you to get more done, then in less time, and without also, like I said, less time actually doing the activity, less time learning about how to use something difficult and just using a solution that's already built to get the job done. I think that's, at the end of the day, the only resource we can't get back is time. So if you find a solution that saves you that, you're literally increasing, I think life happiness overall, because you're getting time.
Oh yeah, and I think it's a beneficial thing for society. Obviously, you're increasing efficiency, and I'm very much aligned with the thinking of we should reward people on results, not just how much input they give. I think this is a great note, maybe to end up with. But are there any closing thoughts that you would like to share with our audience?
I would say the biggest thing is to stay hungry for knowledge, stay focused, choose the niche you're going to go into when you come into the Salesforce world. Marketing Cloud's an amazing niche to come into. It's only growing. I've heard, people say, I've heard regional managers at Salesforce, regional directors, managers at Salesforce say, learning Marketing Cloud is like becoming a brain surgeon. Like, you're becoming so specialized and you're going to be in such high demand, and everybody's going to need marketing for their company. So why not learn Marketing Cloud, get into this niche, do that, but also stay hungry to continue learning, because at the end of the day, we're living in the information age, and the more you learn, the more you earn. So, that goes back to the figuring out which sort of apps you'll need to increase your productivity. If you learn about an app, that's because you put in the time to figure out which apps are going to help increase your productivity, and you're more than likely going to earn more because you're more productive. So stay focused, stay hungry for learning. I think that's the biggest thing in our society is there's so much that's changing, and it's constantly changing, especially in tech. But now the world is seeing that life is changing. And if you don't learn something new and you don't, adapt, I think it's going to be hard to keep up. So learning is the best way to keep up. The most powerful thing we have is our mind. So utilize that. That's my biggest thought. That's all I ever tell people is continue learning whatever it is that, you're interested in. Yeah, continue doing that.
Great stuff. Yeah. So keep hungry, stay focused, keep educating yourself. Kaelan, I want to thank you so much for making the time to coming on our series. And thanks.
Thanks, Anthony. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. If you would like to know more about DESelect and how we can help with your segmentation strategy in Salesforce Marketing Cloud, then visit us at DESelect.com. Have a great day.